What up, Whiskey Ginger fans? Welcome back to the show. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much. Please subscribe. Do all the right things. Spread that word around. Hey, the coronavirus has hit us pretty hard. I've come off tour, of course, because I have to. I don't have a choice. I don't really want to. I want to be out on the road on the Red Rocket Tour. If you want to see the dates of the Red Rocket Tour, go to andrewsantino.com. That's where all the dates are. We're rescheduling and changing everything around. The Talia Hall show in Chicago has been rescheduled to July 25th. I'm going to be there. Chi-Town, July 25th, we are rescheduling. As far as Sacramento and Portland and Seattle, we're rescheduling July 16, 17, 18. Sacramento, Seattle, Portland, 16, 17, 18. Those are going to be up on the site as soon as we get the ticket links. I've also rescheduled Comics Roadhouse in Connecticut for November 5th through the 7th. Hopefully, we're going to approve those dates as soon as we can. We keep changing everything as we go. It's not on us. We're doing our very best. I'm trying as hard as I can to keep up. And right now, the other date reschedule that we have is Cleveland is going to be moved to July 31st, and Cincinnati is August 1st. So go to andrewsantino.com to keep up, see when we put up the ticket links. We're trying our best to make all that shit work. In the meantime, hey, man, I'm working, dude. We're trying. Guests keep falling out because everyone's like, I don't want to do it. I'm sick. But I'm glad my next guest joined me. Adam Eget is the shit. He's the manager of the Comedy Store, the booker. He is the talent coordinator. He is the everything. My homeboy, and he is unbelievable. An eye for talent that is so underrated. If you want to learn about what's going on with me other than the tour, you want to get involved in the Patreon or check out the podcast, either this or Bad Friends, and all the links, everything you need to know to spread the word is at andrewsantino.com. Again, our Patreon is there. My tour is there that hopefully we're updating. And also a bunch of other goodies we're updating on a constant basis, including our store, which has a bunch of T-shirts and all that stuff that you can get right now online. Go to andrewsantino.com for everything you need to know. But for now, enjoy the episode.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Whiskey Ginger. My guest today is one of my favorite people on earth. I say that for all my guests, but I mean it once again today. It is Adam Eget. Adam?
I feel like you should mean it this time.
No. Honestly, I do, though.
You do.
All right,
'Cause
air
I
cheers
do.
me because there's no booze in there, and that's against Irish
Oh,
law.
right.
Cheers. I'm
Cheers,
drinking Buffalo
cheers.
Trace. It's delicious.
God, I miss whiskey.
Some good sauce. I know. You do, huh?
I do.
How long you been sober now?
2 weeks.
Bad boy.
I know.
Who's a bad boy?
I was bad.
Let me crack this open.
Okay.
Adam and I have known each other for a while. For people that don't know Adam currently is the cuck of the Comedy Store is what they he's the manager of the Comedy Store, the booking talent head honcho. I don't know, what's your title? What's your bullshit unofficial, like the official unofficial
No,
title?
King Cuck.
King
Cuckold?
Cuck?
Yeah. No,
King
talent coordinator.
Talent coordinator.
Yeah.
Adam is basically responsible for making the lineups at the Comedy Store. He is responsible for getting bugged every day by comedians about getting spots. It's a fucking nightmare.
It is a bit of a nightmare.
But you also have a storied history. People that are big comedy fans know you were the co-host of Norm Macdonald's show on Netflix.
Yeah, sidekick.
Yeah. Do you want to say sidekick?
I don't give a fuck.
It's not demeaning.
It doesn't matter. Dude,
Sidekick
I
sounds...
was a Holocaust denier on there.
You are a Holocaust, but you don't believe in it.
Nah.
You know what? When the first time we met, and you said, I'm Adam Eget, and I said, are you Jewish? And you said, yeah, but I don't believe in any of that muckety muck from the past.
I do recall saying that, actually.
Yeah. So
I do recall saying that.
what do you know what I mean?
All right, fair enough.
You're a denier.
Fair enough.
You're a Holocaust denier on the show.
Uh-huh.
You also blew guys under a bridge for
Jacked off.
jacked them off.
Yeah.
For how much?
$15 a man.
Pretty good take.
Not bad.
Pretty good
Especially
take.
if you take into account this was years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, with inflation, it's probably worth $50 or $60.
At least.
Not bad. So I met you because of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to dabble into your background. People genuinely, and I mean this, are interested in how this process works of like the store.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for people that aren't comedy fans, check out now. I mean, we don't have to all talk about comedy the whole time, but
yeah.
this is going to be a good portion of it because even I'm interested. So
Okay.
I know you were at the Tempe Improv.
Yeah.
I went to Arizona State. I frequented the Tempe Improv, only as a patron.
And what years were you there again?
I was in Arizona State from 2002 to 2006.
Oh, okay. So we probably had a little bit of overlap.
Yeah,
I
you
got
were-
there right around 2005 or 6.
And what did you do there?
I was first I was a server, and then I was a manager.
You served?
I did.
There's no way people tipped you.
People tip me often and liberally.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Hit the sign again and you're dead. People tipped you a lot?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I was a great server.
Why?
I
You
really
think-
was
'cause
a
you
good
talk-
server.
You talked a good game?
I think I didn't do the whole bullshit like, hey, how are you?
No, you just
I was
gave them
just
to them
genuine.
straight.
I was like, what do you guys want?
Why did you move to Arizona? Was it?
I had to get the fuck out of LA. I was working at E Entertainment Television and
I didn't know this.
yeah.
Okay. What were you
and
doing for E?
I was receptionist.
Really?
Yeah, and then I got fired from E.
Why did you get the job in the first place? Just to
Why
get
did I
into-
get the job?
I'm saying like because you wanted to be in the business. Nobody
Yeah.
goes. I want to be a receptionist at E.
I needed money and I wanted to be in the entertainment industry.
Okay,
Yeah,
and that's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
entry
yeah.
point.
Exactly, perfect entry point. I
And-
was probably like 19 at the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I got fired from there.
Why?
Me and a bunch of other employees. This is like before the internet took off.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we
This was
would-
1967 or 68.
Yeah.
What year was this?
Koufax just won the World Series. No, this was in like 2000. This was
In the-
like
in the-
1999, 2000.
All right.
And we would email each other like the most fucking horrendous, appalling shit to try and make each other sick.
It's just text.
Yeah,
You were
this
just
is
doing
like-
text before text.
This is like, yeah, we were like trendset. This is like trailblazers. Before Two Girls, One Cup, we would send each other like German fucking porn, like people covered in shit.
Love
and, like,
it.
Yeah, good
Shiza
stuff.
videos
Yeah,
is what we call
Shiza
them. Yeah.
videos, all that shit. All that fucking shit,
All
man.
that shit,
Yeah,
dude.
and then I remember there was another receptionist that worked there, and she was hideous. She was the worst fucking person you've ever met.
You
in your
remember her
life.
name?
Yeah, her name was April, and she
April, you're a
used to
turd.
fuck-
We
she-
hope you're dead.
she used to fuck all these rappers, and then would brag about it, and she was just so obnoxious.
What did she do there again?
She was a receptionist.
A lot of receptionists.
Yeah,
at E.
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
me and this other girl, Mila, we hated it. We were like, this is a nightmare. And so one day I was like, I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, just shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about so-and-so eating you out on your period
Right.
and all this gross shit.
Yeah.
And then she was fucking all these guys in the IT department. And then I came back from
Dude,
lunch one day.
does this girl have
I
AIDS?
don't know.
She fucked everybody.
But I came back and these guys from the IT department were in my shit, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then next day I got called into HR, and they printed out all the photos we were sending each other, like 8x10 glossies of guys covered
Yeah.
in shit and fucking and all this stuff.
And you're like,
And they just
you
keep
can't
going
dig
to
into
the
my
next
personal
one,
life.
and they're like, and they would just look at me really disappointed, and they'd go to the next one, and I'm like,
But is it a work email?
yeah.
Bad idea. I'll take bad ideas for 1,000,
yeah,
Alex.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you got to use a private email if you're going to do that
Yeah, I'm
shit.
like, I'm
Well,
fired,
that-
aren't I?
Well, that was like, what was it called? Tracking boards used to be back in the day for PA. Do you know what those are?
No,
Tracking boards now are what assistants use at like, why am I doing this? Like it's a thing.
no
called-
idea.
Yeah, this is a
A
tracking.
pendulum.
I'm trying to say that things are going from here to here to here to here.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
I'm high. But a tracking board is what assistants will use, executive assistants use to like communicate in between different like agencies and stuff. Like internal CAA has a tracking board they
Oh,
share
okay.
with other. That's like kind of the thing now. When I was a PA, same thing. It was email, and they also had an internal chat, like an iChat type of shit
Okay.
in our own network.
Oh.
And that was shady because every time someone said some fucked up shit, I thought, well, this is owned by this company. If they want to, they could fuck us. And this is pre-conscious social consciousness.
Oh, right.
This is like in 2006 when
16.
this is yesterday. This is like when people just still weren't.
yeah.
Nobody cared. People said shit. Nobody was like, hey man,
Yeah, yeah.
don't send that.
Right.
But I thought about that all the time. And luckily, the guys that were in charge, like that was the last thing on their mind. But I was like, I could have gotten fucked so much. I can't believe I never got fired from that job. I showed up every day hungover, every single day.
I can't believe you haven't been fired from literally every job.
I've been fired from a lot of jobs. How many
Oh,
jobs
okay.
have you been
It
fired
was like
from?
the beginning of Mannequin. Remember Mannequin?
Yeah,
I think you just got fired
Just
from like 20
every
jobs.
job.
Yeah.
I got fired from, I don't know, 4 or 5 gigs.
Okay.
But I've had like 30.
All right.
Before stand-up, I did a million different things.
I'm pretty responsible, actually.
How many
except for
did you
the
get?
email incident.
How
That
many?
was it.
That's the only time you've been fired?
And I always put in 2 weeks notice. Yeah.
Fuck you. Really?
Dude.
Like when I left McDonald's, I told them to suck a dick.
Well, yeah, I could understand.
That's because we
that.
stole money and food from them.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, but
Fuck
what,
yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
what do
right,
we do?
right,
What are you out of your
right,
mind trying to
sorry,
fist bump me
sorry.
on this show?
That reminds me. I got you a
What did you get
Corona
me?
gift bag.
Oh, Corona gift
Yeah,
bag.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
Toilet paper.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I got you some leftover cough medicine.
Oh, cool.
from
That'll be
when I
cool
was
that
sick
your
a
lips
while
were already
ago.
all over it.
Well,
And it's 3/4 and it's done. It's literally out.
You like green beans.
Green beans.
Green
Everybody says
beans?
everyone knows green beans cures
Just,
Corona.
If you need to.
Oh, can you
check
put
up
Zap?
on
Can
it.
you point that on the?
Zap?
Put that here
Yeah,
on the.
Yeah.
Let everyone see Zap.
Dude, have you seen American Gladiators lately? It's fucking phenomenal.
Can I
It
pause you
still
for a
holds
second?
up. Yeah.
A girl I went to high school with
Yeah.
is
Fuck Zap?
was on the new Gladiator.
No.
Fuck Zap. She ate out Zap, dude.
Get out!
Yeah, no.
Dude!
She's on the new, she was on the new American Gladiators.
Oh shit, they had a new one?
I don't want to look up her name because I don't really want to go through that process.
Yeah, why would
No,
you?
she was on. Yeah, I want to say 8 years ago they did like a newer rendition of Gladiator.
No, did
yeah, they did.
they?
Yeah, they did a remake of it.
Oh, come
Now
on,
I have
don't
to.
touch that.
I swear to God. And
Oh.
and a girl I went to high school with who was a are you looking at my sticker?
Is it Gay Mario?
Well, it's me, but yeah, it's Gay Mario.
Oh,
This
yeah,
Jeffrey
okay,
Miles
yeah.
made this. It's
That's
First of all, it's
dope.
Luigi. That's Luigi.
Oh shit.
I'm Luigi.
Oh, that's great.
But look, American. Hold on, I need to know.
Gladiators.
Okay, so look, 2008. That's when it came back. So 1989
Yeah.
in seven seasons,
Okay.
and then they did this weird resurgence in 2008. And this is when a girl I went to high school with was a gladiator. Here you go, 2 seasons in 2008. Isn't that crazy? Hulk Hogan and Lalia Ali were the ones that presented the whole thing. They were
Shut
like
the fuck up. Hulk Hogan was the
Hulk,
presenter.
The Hulkster was the.
Get out!
Isn't that
I
wild?
remember. Oh, what's it? He was like an ex-Raider linebacker or something who did the first one.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
Oh,
his
that's
fucking
so
name.
annoying.
Mark something? Is it Mark? Fuck, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Okay,
but,
so they presented it. and
Malibu was the shit.
Malibu
Oh,
was
dude,
well,
Malibu
dude.
was the
Long
shit.
hair. He always was the best at the tennis ball gun.
Dude, how great was that? The first time we were. How old are you? 30.
I'm much younger than you. By like a
38?
landslide. I'm 36. Dude, Adam,
Are you?
you're a dick. Dude, you're a
No,
dick.
but I was being dead serious.
1983.
Here's the thing. I
I'm
wasn't
36.
trying to be fucking
No, you are,
a
though.
dick.
I know you enough to know that
Um,
that's you taking a
Yeah,
shot.
it really wasn't. I swear
Piece of
on
shit.
everything. But listen,
I'm going to look her up. Keep talking. I'm going to look her up.
that
'cause I wanna
tennis
know.
ball gun, the first time you saw that, come
Yeah.
on. How I lost my shit. I was like, this,
phenomenal.
I need to be on this show.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was you and your friends used to do that. We would throw shit at each other going
Yeah.
through like a gladiator gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
I
it's
remember.
fun.
I remember feeling like that was. Oh, here it is. I found her.
Okay.
Jen Wiederstrom.
What the? Fuck you. You're making that name up. Her
Jen-
name's Jen Wienerstrom?
Jennifer Wiederstrom.
Okay.
Wiederstrom, dude. Look at this. Did
You
you
okay?
Corona this mic?
Mm,
Jen Wiederstrom.
All
Yeah.
right.
We went to high school together. She became.
I'm
She
in.
also appeared in the 2015 documentary "Why Am I So Fat?"
the Adam Eget story.
The Adam Eget story. Okay, we're doing this thing that I knew you and I were gonna do because of how much I love you. That we're gonna go in 90 different directions.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
So
sorry.
American Gladiators is the shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got
yeah,
me
yeah.
this. What
Yeah,
else is
yeah,
in the
yeah.
bag of wonder?
I got
This
I
is a
ordered
Corona
this-
kit.
If you get depressed, I got this book from Amazon. I ordered one, but they gave me 2.
Oh,
so
it's called Feeling Good. I like
It's
this.
for depression. And then I was gonna return these. I don't know if you need some.
I don't need those cables. Those audio.
Ah.
Put that back in the bag. I don't want that.
Okay,
That's
fine.
almost embarrassing that you have those. Are you a okay boomer? Adam tried to give me a
Dude,
a-
I'm
a
literally
red
3 years older
yellow.
than you.
Still though. You tried to give me an audio cable like that's it. Is that for video games? What is that for?
I can't remember. I was.
That's
trying
really
to plug
embarrassing.
Something in.
But this and this, these are all great things.
Good.
This you can throw in the trash.
All right, fine.
No, I'll drink it. Honestly, leave
Very
it.
good.
Well, that's
Dude, we're all fucked.
Is this the lean, by the way? Is this lean? You know, rappers.
No, it's not. It's
not
not.
lean?
I wish it was lean
I
grade.
want some lean, dog.
No, it's not.
We are all screwed. But let's get to Coronas. Like it's taking up too much of my time in my head. Let's talk about
Yeah.
anything else. So
All right.
here, you were at E. You got fired. Then did you immediately go to Phoenix, to Tempe?
Yeah, then I went to. I moved to Phoenix. I moved to Scottsdale.
Oh, where'd you live?
I lived in Scottsdale.
What exit? Off the 101.
Dude, Thomas.
Raintree.
Raintree. That's north. Oh, so
Way
that's like
north.
north of
That's when I moved in with
Chaparral?
my. Yeah, when I moved in with
Okay.
my college girlfriend at the time.
Wow.
That's when I left. When I was leaving college.
Fuck.
I mean, the rest of the time I lived down by campus.
I lived in Scottsdale. I lived in Old Town Scottsdale. I lived in Paradise Valley. I lived in Chandler, Ahwatukee, Mesa, Phoenix. I lived all over that fucking town.
What? How many? I've lived there for 4 years in college. I only lived in 2 different cities and 3 different places.
I was in 2 relationships while I
Ugh.
was there in a decade.
Stupid guy.
Yeah.
And you moved
he
around
was all right.
because of
and then I just moved around a lot. I don't know.
And then how did you end up at the Tempe Improv?
I was looking for work, and I was delivering pizzas at the time, and I was like, "Fuck
For who?
this!" For this place called TC Luigi's. It used to be called Tessio's. It was right next to
Tessio's.
ASU.
Yeah.
It was by Zia Records on
Oh, I know
University,
it. I
across
know
from
it.
Dilly's Deli.
Rest in peace. All those places.
Shut
are
the
gone.
fuck up. Zia's gone.
All that shit's
what
gone.
a bummer.
All that
I
shit's
spent
gone.
so much time at Zia, obviously.
Dude, I used to play in the basement of the Memorial Union. This place called Hoodlums was a record store.
I remember fucking Hoodlums
Gone.
at ASU.
I mean, of course, that's gone for years and
Yeah.
years and years. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dude, I spent probably more of my paychecks at record stores in
Oh.
college than
100%.
I can't imagine how much money I've wasted on not wasted on music, on the experience, man. But also, I remember literally wasting an entire paycheck one day at Hoodlums and then feeling really sick about it, like
Oh, yeah.
fucked up in my head, and then realizing that whatever.
That's way more relatable than it should be.
I was like, what? Who cares? What do you
Yeah.
like? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna die, and I'm just gonna skateboard home, and I just will steal food from friends. It was just like I'll figure it all out.
Yeah.
Simpler times. So then
Right.
ASU. So you were living.
Yeah,
they
I
were
was
delivering pizza
delivering
around campus.
pizzas, and then I saw that Tempe Improv was hiring servers. I went in and applied for the job, and I fucking started working. First weekend was Mitch Hedberg, and then it was great. It
You know how
was
crazy this
so
is?
fun. Wow.
That was the last weekend he performed before he died.
Yep. Exactly.
Guess who was there?
Lynn Shawcroft. You.
Isn't that weird?
Shut the fuck up.
I was there.
And Henry Phillips.
Because
Wow.
he did that weekend. Flew back to. He flew to the East Coast somewhere, right?
Yeah.
He did one more show on the East Coast,
yeah.
and then that was it.
And that was it.
I was at that show for Head.
That's crazy.
And it was bad, actually. I remember it being terrible.
The first shows were great.
Yeah.
And then he
He was
took too
he was,
much.
he was
He
fucking
was-
awful.
yeah, he was
And I remember
trash.
how much I loved him and how much it broke my heart because I was like a comedy geek and I knew I wanted to do comedy, but I didn't even come close to doing it. This was
really sad to see that. Yeah.
I was bummed out. He was so fucked up and so tanked,
I know.
just in a weird bad place. And I remember turning to the person that I went with and I was like, "Oh, I don't," because they didn't like they didn't know stand up.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way you're not gonna like this guy. And then
Yep.
sure enough, I was like, fuck, this is not what
Yep.
it's usually like. I was trying to explain
I had
it.
that same experience with. I remember I used to love Pablo Francisco, and then you
Oh my
saw
God.
him
Same
take a
thing.
turn for the
Same thing.
Shit.
I went to a couple of his live shows and watched all that stuff.
Yep.
So he was there. Mitch was there.
He was there a lot. Robert Schimmel was like my favorite. He was like my favorite. He was there all the time because he lived there.
That was your
That was
first week.
heartbreaking.
That was your first week of the Mitch was one of the first weeks of you.
That was my first week working. I think my first time at the Tempe Improv, I think it was like Kathleen Madigan or something. But
I love Kathleen
Yeah,
Madigan.
she was great.
So okay, so you're serving, and then give us to the next chapter of how you became a.
Then they kept
a
offering
manager
me
there.
the gig to manage, and I didn't want to.
I'm not listening. I'm
I don't
shutting
give a
this off.
fuck.
It's buzzing. Go ahead.
I didn't want to manage, but they offered it to me like 3 or 4 times, and then I finally accepted it.
Why
and
do you
then,
think they offered it to you?
I don't know. They thought I'd be a good manager, I guess.
No, seriously.
I was a good server. Most people liked me for the most
You have a
part.
keen sense of comedy that you won't
Yeah.
admit. Adam, you're very funny.
Oh, that's sweet.
You obviously it's why you are where you are right now. Your sense of comedy is very specific and very good, and not specific in the sense that you only like one kind of comedy. I hate giving you compliments.
Yeah,
It's
because
just-
I fucking hate taking.
well,
them
but it's also
so
it's terrible to
much.
give you compliments because I don't. It's just you're annoying.
It's so lame.
You're actually a loser.
I
And
know!
I know the depths of how much of a piece of shit loser you
Ugh,
are.
I know.
But anyway, no. So they obviously saw the fact that you were kind of had ingratiated comedy, and like you had ingratiated yourself in comedy, like you were.
I don't know
deep-
about that because the managing. I wasn't. That didn't mean I was the booker. At first, I was just managing. I
But it
was, like,
doesn't
dealing
matter.
with the
They
servers
had
and-
to have people that loved comedy that were managing.
Yeah, I did love comedy.
And back then was kind of different. Like the turnover of comedy clubs had happened prior to there, where people that just ran like shrimp shacks that opened comedy clubs, they all failed.
Mm-hmm.
So places like the Tempe Improv stayed open because they were kind of the premier places of rooms for
Yep.
good comics.
It was a great fucking club.
So you had to
Great
kind of be
room.
in the know of comedy.
Yep.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
You're not a fucking loser.
Nah,
I mean,
I'm
I
all
think
right.
you are, but I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
them to
yeah.
know that.
You're sweet.
So okay, so you finally took the job as a manager.
Yeah.
And?
And it was good. It was good for a couple years, and then I was just like, I was kind of over it. Like the club took a huge nosedive, and the old owner, one of them was like really hardcore Christian, and he wanted all clean comedy,
Which is what you are as well.
I know.
You're a big Christian.
All clean, no cursing. And then the other one was really hardcore, 40 years, 50 years in AA, wanted it to be dry, no booze. And I'm like, what am I doing?
I mean,
got out of there.
literally the like you couldn't have mixed a formula of not stand-up comedy
Yeah,
club.
like,
They're like, no
oh.
booze, make it
Yeah.
clean.
Oh, you want to open a jamboree?
Yeah.
Like, just fucking do that.
Why don't you just do a park poetry reading on?
exactly,
That's
yeah.
insane to me.
Yeah. So I moved back to LA, where I'm from.
Yeah.
And almost immediately, within a month, I got a call, and they said, hey, they're looking for a manager.
What year was this?
This was in 2010
Okay.
or 2010. And they said they're looking for a manager at the Comedy Store. Come, they want to interview you. So I came in, I interviewed, and I got the job.
Wild.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's
crazy?
all downhill from there. But that was fun. Those were fun times, man. I remember the first time I saw you at an open mic,
Yep.
Monday or Sunday, because we used to do them on Sundays and Mondays.
Sundays and
back in
Mondays
the
used to be.
day.
Well, it used to be friends and family was
Yep.
was the big. I don't know. Is that still happening?
Nobody
really does.
Yeah,
You don't do
sort
that.
of. Yeah, we still do it on Mondays. It's mostly just employees and then people.
But it
I
used to
have
be pretty
see.
defined. Everybody knew
Yeah.
friends and family, and the Comedy Store was a way for you to get a recommendation from a comic who's either passed or has further along from you
Yeah.
to move up in the ranks.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily mean you would showcase. It really didn't mean much when I was doing it. It meant you could get more community respect, maybe. I don't
I
know
can
how
see
the
that.
game works now, but it was kind of like
It's a little different.
if you did well at Family and Friends, it was kind of like, oh, he is doing mics, but he's also doing Family and Friends spots, which it shimmied you through this system a little bit.
When did you start officially stand up?
2000 and the first show I ever did was 05 in Tempe.
Okay, so at that point you had already been doing it for 5 years.
But I mean, I moved to LA in 06/07. That's when I was doing like 2 shows and really
Right.
trying. When I did it in college, I went to open mics that you had to fucking hear through the grapevine. One was a taco shop in Mesa.
Oh, Macayo's?
Is that what it was called?
There's one.
Mac-
They used to do one at Macayo's.
I don't know if it was called Macayo's. I thought it was.
They had another
Maybe
one.
that's
like
right.
Gecko, some fucking thing.
No, that I know. That's in
Yeah,
Tempe.
Yeah, I remember
But
that
the one in Mesa, I don't remember the name, but it was like maybe Macayo's is right.
That's
It
where
wa-
they
it
used
was-
to do all of
It
them.
was a bullshit random regular open mic, but those were miserable because there was no structure. At least in LA, when I got here, I was like, holy shit, this is like people actually
People
trying to
do.
do stand up.
And people actually going to watch stand up.
Yeah, it was
they were
weird.
trying to
That
order
blew my
nachos.
mind. Instead of being
Yeah.
like, why are you in my fucking restaurant?
Right, exactly.
People were so mad. They were
I know.
So
They're trying to watch the game.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
trying to fucking.
soccer game.
Yeah.
Football. Yeah, so I got when I moved here, 06 was when I officially moved to Los Angeles and really started to like dig in and do that. And then
You were fucking great. 2010, the first time I saw you. And I would watch all the fucking.
Fell off.
I would
I fell
watch all
off
the
since
shit.
then.
I don't know what
I
happened.
fell off, man.
It was fucking really
Dude,
sad. It was
it's
sad.
been
Very
tough, dude.
Pablo Francisco-esque.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
I do meth and fall off the stage.
But I rarely went up and told Tommy anything about any comics. I was like, that's his department. I didn't fucking deal with it.
Right. Tommy is
but
the
I
old
remember-
manager of the Comedy Store.
Right,
People that don't know.
the old
The old
booker.
booker for the Comedy Store.
Yeah,
sorry.
but I made sure I was like, this kid is fucking unbelievable.
he used to.
And I use the word kid lightly because again, you're like 3 years. younger
Well,
than
but I
me.
was new in it. That's
You were a kid at that
That's the
time.
word to use.
Yeah.
Tommy, the old manager of the Comedy Store, used to say, on my way out sometimes,
Mhm.
he'd go, heard you did good. Heard you did good. And I knew he was lying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew.
you do Tommy like fucking Dana Carvey's George Bush.
Yeah, I heard you did
Or,
good. Not gonna do it. Not wouldn't be prudent.
it doesn't sound
Another
like Tommy
reference
at
that
all.
no one on here
I know
is
nobody's
understanding.
gonna know any
No,
of this
but
shit.
he used to say that to me, but I knew it meant he would hear other comics maybe say a
Of
compliment.
course, exactly.
It had nothing to do with how he even saw me
Right.
in that system.
Of course.
And anyway, I'm not going to get into the depths of that whole thing, but that always bugged me because I knew he didn't really soak into comedy. Like I know he didn't the way that you do, not to do this thing again, but it's just different. You actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah.
That was harder around town because I don't know if a lot of bookers around town were enjoying it, right? Like people were overwhelmed, and so are you. But I don't know if a lot of them, you know, the factory was a tough run because that was Dane's house. The Improv was the most popular club in the city, if not even in the country. Like people, the Improv was hot as a pistol.
Yeah.
Like I remember coming to LA and not right away, but like at some point in my beginnings, it would be so packed in there with, and I mean famous people, waiting to go to shows that it seemed daunting to even go hang out. I used to get nervous about hanging out. I remember consciously being like, don't say anything stupid to anybody. Don't do anything stupid, you know, because it was like cool comics and famous people were just
fun
kicking
place
it.
to hang out.
Oh my God. So backtrack, back in the Tempe Improv, you met Paige.
Yeah.
Who's now
She
at
does
the
what
Improv.
she's the booker
She's
of
the
the
booker of the
Improv in
What was she doing
Hollywood.
at Tempe?
She was bartending at this great fucking dive bar I used to frequent.
What was it
and
called?
I met her there. It was called The Rogue.
Where was that at?
It was on Scottsdale Road, just north of like the 202 or
101.
101.
Well, the 101 would go up and then bend over.
It was like north of the stadium, ASU.
Oh,
Sun
the 202,
Devils
right on the
Stadium.
other side of the 202. Yeah.
North of the 202 on Scottsdale Road.
The what?
Rogue. It was a real hole in the wall. But I used to go and then I met her there and we became like really good friends almost immediately. We liked all the same music. Then I used to go and DJ there on what's up, dude? On the weekends.
DJ.
Not that kind of like I would just play like hipster bullshit.
The Cure.
Yeah, I'd play a lot of Cure
play a lot
and
of The Cure.
Smiths and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I get to drink for free. And then I got her into the Improv, and then we were serving together. We were waiting tables together.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
And then
like
she ended up
15
coming
years
out.
ago.
Now she's booking
She's
the Improv in
booking,
Hollywood.
killing it at the Improv, and I'm at the store.
So I want to know. It's so funny. As well as I know you, there's certain things that I'm like, well, I don't even know how did the connection with Norm really happen?
Oh, I met him at the Tempe Improv. I
know that. I want to know how it happened.
So we just started talking. We like all the same, like our favorite show is Fawlty Towers, and I love fucking Fawlty Towers. And the British Office, we bonded over that.
Sure.
And we bonded over we love all the old film noir. So we would just fucking rattle off all these old film noir movies from like the 40s and 50s and shit. And then we both love playing cards. So we would go after the show and we would go to Casino Arizona, or we would go to this backdoor poker room in this like strip shopping center that was open after hours, real shady.
Yeah, I love it.
And it was like dealer's choice. So we were playing like Kansas City Lowball and Raz and Badoogie and all these fucking games.
What?
A lot of them
Badoogie?
Crazy Pineapple and all these fucking games. And they're all like fucking ringers.
How do you know that? How do you know any of these games?
I learned a lot of those games I didn't know before I started
But did Norm
playing.
Norm knew?
Norm knew all of that shit. He's a fucking gambler.
Well, I know he's a gambler,
He's
but
a
like,
great card player.
Usually guys have one niche and they stick to it.
Yeah, it's like Hold'em or Omaha.
And Norm doesn't do that.
No,
but I'm saying he knows all of them.
Yeah, stud.
You meet usual gamblers and they're like, this is what I do, this is what I know.
Mm-hmm.
They heard of other stuff or they know other stuff, but they usually are like experts at one. He touches all the bases. Huh?
Yeah.
That's because he's an addict.
Yeah.
So was he good? He was good.
He was great.
Did he lose a lot of money with you?
I lost a lot of money.
You would lose way more.
Oh
than him.
my God, yeah.
What's the most you ever lost with him?
So I was like, I'm all in, and then I'm like, wait, what?
Everyone looks
I
at
have
you
to
like,
have the lowest card in this game.
Don't do that.
And it's like, yeah.
Badoogie will get you.
Oh, fucking ridiculous.
So you would go to these spots with him. That's how
Yeah.
you bonded.
Yeah.
And then years later, he was like, I want you to come work on the show with me.
Yeah, and then he kept saying they want me to do a podcast. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Of course you should do a podcast.
He should do.
He's my favorite stand-up of all time.
I'm right here.
He's my, well, you
I'm right
know.
here. No, I know. He's most people's favorite stand-up of all time. I mean, I would feel like
it's
most,
a great litmus test. If you like Norm, then you get comedy.
Yeah, I think most comics, most people, I wouldn't say that Norm is the guy that comics go like, I lose my shit with laughter over.
Right.
But he's my favorite comic. If
Yeah,
that makes
he's
any
a
sense.
genius,
He's just a
yeah.
fun comic.
He is a great, he's a comics
Yeah,
comic.
he's a comics
Yeah,
comic.
yeah.
That's the way you go. All right, he is a comics comic. But he's got to be somebody that he's got to be someone because he's very specific, right? Then he's got to
Mhm.
be somebody that is hard to
Wrangle?
manage,
Yeah, yeah.
wrangle. Like,
Someone
right?
said it. Who was it? Whitney? Someone.
Am I right? Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Someone described him best. They said working with Norm, it's like constantly trying to give a cat a bath.
Oh my God, that's
And
really
it's,
good.
it's perfect.
By the way, that's
but
what it's
I-
like when I work with Bobby Lee. That's
Oh
like-
yeah, exactly.
when somebody
Is it-
when somebody asked me about, somebody said to me, they were like, why did you even want to do the show with Bob? And I was like, well, I didn't. A bunch of fans were like, you guys should do a show. I did it because it was like a call and response. I was like, we should do a show. People asked. I didn't like voluntarily be like, we need to do a show. I
Right.
never did that shit. But we did the show, and I love how people are like, well, you know, what's it like with Bob? Like, is it this? It's like, what do you mean? It's
like,
it's
look,
a
yeah.
fucking nightmare. It's a full on.
I
and I love
watching-
Bob.
Yeah, you
I-
two
but
together, it's something.
It's because we're
else.
so opposite. Like
Uh.
Bob and I couldn't be more. Bobby Lee's car and my car, the interior of a car, not the physical brand, the make or model. The interior of a car says everything about a person to
Yeah.
me. Bobby
Yours
Lee's,
is immaculate.
mine is- there is no dirt.
Yeah,
even if it's raining, I'm gonna vacuum it out when I get home.
sure, of course.
Bob's inside of his car looks like one of those you know when they go on those reality shows and they find an old storage garage and they
Yep.
open it up
Yeah.
and they like they abandoned it 8 years ago. They're like, oh my God, there's like a skull globe in there. Yeah, Bobby had that's his brain, and my brain is the same kind of comedy brain. Like we connect on the comedy brain, but it's interesting to me to see how the same kind of fun comedy brain can be totally disconnected from the lifestyle brain.
Right.
Like I feel like Norm's comedy brain is so perfectly consumable by almost everybody,
Yep.
but I know his outside brain is the opposite.
He's probably the smartest guy I've ever met. I mean,
Right.
he's just
He's able
he's on
he's
another
able to
level.
write stuff that Joe Schmo can
Right.
consume, but the other side of his head is super complex.
Yeah.
That always impressed me because
Yeah.
I'm not like that. Like I'm much more organized, but there are guys that are the opposite of me that are like, it's a whirlwind, and then comedy is wonderful, but then outside of that, it's just it's a total who knows what's happening.
Yeah. He's also a phenomenal storyteller. Like Spade too. Spade's probably the best. He's like a cartoon storyteller.
Yeah,
Norm though, it's just like he's so unique. You know?
I credit
He's-
him. So
they're
I
both very
call
unique.
my wife my old bag.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a constant. I do it on the show all the time. I say the old bag, the old
Yeah.
bag, and I would literally give credit to Norm because he does this old 1940s
the old ball
battle
and
axe,
chain. Yeah,
ball
the
and
battle
chain.
axe, yeah.
and it's homage to him for sure. It's not stealing because he didn't say old bag, but I love
Right.
that thing. I think that's so. It's to me, it's like saying if you don't get this,
Yeah.
too
right.
bad for you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not? When
Yeah.
Norm does that, Norm goes on Conan and he does bits where he's like, the old battle axe, the old ball and chain, dragging me through the mud. If you don't get what he's doing, then I can't help you.
Oh,
You know what I
he's
mean?
just
Like
so
you
fucking
then
fun.
get off the train.
Yeah.
You're never gonna catch it.
Yeah, exactly.
So after working, you did how many seasons on Netflix show? 2?
We did. Oh no, we did one on Netflix, and then we did like 3 seasons of the podcast.
Sure.
We broke that up into seasons, I guess.
Now, is it something that Norm would want? Let's talk about this. Let's be real.
Okay.
In the middle of the show, in the middle of Norm's Netflix show,
Yeah.
he had to publicly come out and do like an apology thing.
That was the day before they were releasing it.
So the day before the season was going to come out,
Yeah.
what ended up happening was he went on Twitter, right?
No, he had an art. They interviewed him in a magazine.
Oh, I'm saying, but he apologized on Twitter, didn't he? Didn't he?
No, first we were in New York,
Yeah.
and we were in the green room at Fallon, and this article came out, and then someone came into the green room maybe about like we just saw the article came out, and all the backlash started coming.
What did he say?
I mean, people
Don't-
can
don't
look
be
it
political.
up. No, I don't recall specifically what he said. He basically just said that I think it was right after Roseanne and Louis.
Yeah.
And he, was friends with both of those
Right.
people. And I think he just said he was going to put them in touch so they could talk because no one else can understand what they were going through
Sure.
at the time.
Se-
Being
seem-
shunned by the
seems pretty valid.
population. Yeah, it seems very, very valid.
Well, you know
He
my
said
stance
some
on a
other
lot of that stuff.
Sure.
So I
and you know
and I don't
mine,
give a
I
fuck.
mean-
My fans are the people that listen to stuff. I've been very candid about that stuff, about my positioning with that stuff.
Well, I have a career that I'm working on, so I still feel nervous, and it's disgusting
You're fine.
to feel that way.
Here's the deal. Here's the real truth. I'll take all the burden.
Okay, great.
I don't care because I'll stand by truth. For me, is like
I love that.
I don't care.
I love
well,
that.
dude, here's the deal. I get what you're saying,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we
yeah,
can't
yeah,
be careful about how you really feel unless you're being like blind. Like in the sense that Norm was just offering a piece of something up.
Oh, he was just
he got
incredibly
chastised
reasonable.
for it. Yeah.
It's so
and then
much
he had to come
reason.
out and apologize.
Yeah. Well,
is
first
part of what's wrong with the business. And I'm not discrediting Netflix about it. I'm just saying like the world surrounding us does this thing where they kill you for something so tiny.
Yep. And everybody else, and they've done nothing in their lives.
Yeah, but it's crazy. If there was a microscope on anybody and they go, well, I didn't choose the business. It's like, hey, man, I didn't get into this business to be microscopically picked apart. I got in to tell you dick jokes for money.
Yeah.
So don't fucking come at me when you get angry that I said a thing that you don't really like. That's my biggest beef with the world of this thing. Thank God for these things. I say what I fucking want.
I love that. Yeah.
And they get to come along with
that
us.
was the beauty of the podcast. We could do all these things.
You guys
we
said
do
so
whatever
many
we
fun
wanted.
jokes.
Oh, it was so fun.
And did you feel like it was curbed when you got to Netflix?
Absolutely. I felt
they had their
felt
grip
so
all over it.
neutered, you know?
Well, because it's a corporation.
You have somebody cutting your paycheck now. Yeah.
Did you feel like the, and this is not the shit on Netflix, did you feel like they were kind of like putting the harness on the show? That it felt like it was getting less and less
specifically,
of what it
but
was?
ultimately, look, we did the podcast for years and never got a dime for it. And the reason for that was because we wanted to eventually own it and be able to do what we want. And once we actually saw some money coming in from it, and we hoped, that it would sustain and last a couple seasons, I think ultimately Netflix has a reputation for being woke.
Yeah, what do you mean? They're the most woke.
Yeah.
That's like their fucking, it should be
They're
called
woke as fuck.
What's their new slogan is Netflix is a joke?
Woke
That's
me
the
up
comedy.
before you go.
Woke me up before you go.
I can't remember.
Netflix is a woke?
Yeah,
Netflix is a woke.
That's hilarious.
Bum bum. Yeah, man. I and whatever. Good for them.
Fine.
That's their fucking model.
It's just not my cup of tea.
I just think when you are dabbling with comedians, and Bob and I talked about it, like when you get on a thing with comics that's a corporate entity, you have to know comics are gonna still be comics. Like, yeah, you're gonna like play by some of the rules, but because that's how you fucking get anything made. When someone's like, when people say like sell out, it's like, what do you mean? We're just trying to bring content at the biggest platform we can so everybody can have it.
Yeah.
Not just you and your buddies, like everyone that you know. And there is a point always where they're like, ooh, we can't do that. And it bums you out a little bit because you're like, but we can. You just don't want to do it because you're afraid. Here's a great story to look up. I don't know if you were a fan of Married with Children.
Oh yeah,
it was one of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah,
and I think the reason was the comedy was absurd.
Oh,
it was so beyond what was going on that I couldn't believe it. And there's a documentary that you can watch about the creators. It's a white dude and a black dude, and they essentially cracked the code of
Cohen. Was that his name?
Huh?
Was it Cohen? Somebody.
I have to look it up.
It's not important.
Well, because I'm stupid.
It's fine.
But I'm stupid with names. But they basically got rejected by everybody.
Right.
Because they were like, this is crass, it's disgusting. But he was like, this is how people view hyperbolized relationships in America. And part of it is real, by the way. That was what I always found entertaining about Roseanne as a Midwest kid, as a Chicago kid. It was like, I knew those people.
Sure.
I literally knew those people.
Yeah.
And people would go, that's such an exaggerated version. It's like, those are real people, dude. I know those people.
It's a fucking sitcom.
It's a sitcom.
Man.
But
Yeah.
also, those are real people.
Sure.
Like, they're
Yeah.
So,
I know a lot of guys that don't want to fuck their wives. Like Al.
Everybody. It just becomes a thing where you're like, this is not, stop pretending like everything is textbook perfectly lined up. Most shit, the good thing about those sitcoms of that era was they told a story that was a little bit too real, quote unquote. It was like, oh,
Right.
that Roseanne was real as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And so was fucking Married with Children. It was like, this is a real dysfunctional, fucked up, sexualized family. That's a real family. So, but it just shows how like we've literally gone backwards. You know who writes? And by the way, now to parallel again, you work on David Spade's show, Lights Out, which is phenomenal.
Oh, thanks.
One of the writers on that show and I were having a discussion. I don't need to mention his name, but I'll tell you.
That's
It's
fine.
because I don't need to fucking, you know what I mean?
I'm not asking you to. It's fine.
Well, I just feel guilty.
Just, it's fine. You can say his name or not. I don't
you.
give a fuck. God damn it.
No. But we were talking about how TV's coming a long way. He's been working in TV for many, 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 many years. In fact, I worked with him.
All right.
I worked with him. I'll say it. It's Lance from
of
Lance.
course it
Yeah,
was.
Lance.
Yeah.
If you don't know the movie Pootie Tang, fucking dude, get with it.
Watch it.
Pootie Tang's one of the best movies of all.
Yeah.
But Lance
He
is
is
a writer on
Pootie
the
Tang.
show now.
Yeah.
And this isn't bad anyway. It doesn't matter. But Lance told me one time. I said we were hanging out after we did this pilot together, and I said, "Do you feel like TV is getting stronger or it's getting weaker? Like I can't tell." And he was like, "Well,
Drama.
It's not like comedy. Yeah, right. He's not. He goes, it's not like. He goes, it's not comedy. The comedy itself isn't getting weaker. It's just the comedy is becoming
Fucking neutered.
funneled. Yeah, funneled.
Okay.
Is like less and less and less gets through.
Yeah.
Where it used to be, he's like, dude, when I started on comedy, it was like you could just flood it
And
through.
think about the 70s too. And then All in the Family. It's like, and then you couldn't do what All in the Family was saying in the 80s.
But why?
And then I don't know.
See, that was what's weird.
PC
And now we're
culture.
but now, ironically, we're at a point where this platform, podcasts and internet shows,
This is like the new All in the Family. Like, you
right?
can say
This is
whatever the
it.
fuck you want.
Because we know, people know, we're just fucking
Just
around.
trying
Yeah,
to
we're just
take
fucking
people's
around.
mind off of
Bullshit.
the everyday bullshit that they have to fucking endure and suffer
about
through
the idea that
their
we're all
fucking shit
gonna die.
lives. Yeah,
Are you-
we're all gonna.
Are you
fucking
living in
die.
your apartment sad right now by yourself?
Oh, dude.
How many times a day are you jerking off?
Not as often as I thought I would be.
Yeah, I know. You
I
do
don't.
be
I
pulling.
think no. This is. You know what it is? It's the anxiety and the fear of the unknown.
So.
I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Do you have a Jewish mother?
Yeah, I have a Jewish mother.
But a
and-
Jewish mother in the sense, you know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
The one that's like overtly
Yeah.
concerned with
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. She
So do
made
you-
me totally neurotic.
Ugh, the worst mothers.
Yeah.
The best mothers. Sorry.
Best, but
Every Jewish friend I have, which is all my fucking friends, their moms are just. It's this weird. You know, when I saw the movie Bates Motel, I never understood. I didn't get it. When I was a kid, I was like, why is this a thing with this kid and his mom? And then you get Jewish friends and you go, right on, I understand every second of this. Isn't that fuck? I never understood that really. I was like, why is this guy and his mom?
and that's
like,
why my
so-
apartment isn't the fucking Bates Motel right now.
It doesn't, it's just the creepiest. But anyway, so you've succumbed to the paranoia.
Yeah, a little bit. I ride the wave. I have these waves of panic and depression and anxiety, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Who gives a fuck? Everything's fine.
Look,
This isn't
you're not- I don't
as
think you're
bad
wrong.
as they say, but it is. I don't know.
They say everybody we know will know one person that dies.
Shut the fuck up. Who said that? Everybody we
What do you
know
mean?
will know one person?
The dude
The
that spoke
death
on
rate's
Rogan about
coming-
the World Health Organization, they said statistically you will know one person that has died from it. It's
Well-
like Kevin Bacon type shit.
Oh, but okay. So the death rate though,
Well, dude, we're gonna see 2 months of this, 3 months of this.
Yeah, sure. But the death rate.
You will know someone.
What's the death rate on this disease?
I don't know.
again?
Dude, there's actually, you know what's so crazy? There's a live website. Look at how fun this
Well,
is.
I think it's high in Italy, but then it was like 1% in a lot of other.
Hold on.
nations.
Coronavirus live death.
Hmm.
Okay, here you go. Live update. There's 219,000 cases.
Ugh.
There's been 9,000 deaths.
Okay, so I'm terrible at math.
Mm,
So 200,000 divided by 10,000. What is that?
it's 219 divided by 9. No, it's 9,000 divided by 219,000.
Right. Okay, so that's
4%.
oh, that's higher than
It's higher than 2. It
yeah,
used to be
that's higher
2.
than 2.
It's growing, baby.
And that's mostly elderly. Not that they're,
This says the highest amount of death cases in the United States have ironically not been elderly. They've been men from 35
Shut the
to
fuck
40
Shut the
Jewish
fuck.
from Los Angeles.
I fucking hate you
Whoa,
so much.
dude.
You're
I
a
can't
fucking
believe
guy. Oh, I
USA
hate
has
you.
9,000 cases, and there's 128 new cases today. It does a daily case. 154 total deaths.
What are
4
we
deaths today.
doing? What's happening?
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
What's happening is China. The Chinese. Hey, man. I finally get what Fox News is. Dude, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. But from the bottom of my heart, I don't think people are overreacting. I think the hoarding is wrong.
Yeah.
I think buying stuff is wrong like that. But I don't think the nervousness is overreacting. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I would condemn anybody who's buying 90 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole.
Total asshole.
In here,
Whiskey Ginger fans, I pushed the sauce before in the past. I'm going to push it again. It's Buffalo Trace, my friends. It's the only bourbon with balls. You can see his nuts right there. That Buffalo got them nuts out. This is fine Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. I love this stuff. I've promoted it for a long time, over a year now, and I'm going to keep pushing it because I love the sauce. A lot of people hit me up. They're like, dude, I love this stuff. I just bought it for the first time. If you can find Buffalo Trace in your area, please go get it. It is delicious. They also make Eagle Rare and Blanton's and Pappy. They have a bunch of different levels to their sauce, but this is the one you can find the most. It is 45% alcohol. That's 90 proof. It's great jazz, made in Kentucky in Franklin County. It's wonderful. I've been to the bottling site. You can see it on my Instagram. I've taken a tour. It's wonderful, man. The people are great. It's family owned and operated since 1773. They've been messing around even through Prohibition. They were the only ones to get a license to keep on cooking through the bad times. Also, I got to sit with their lead distiller, Harlan Wheatley. He's the master distiller, I should say. I apologize. He tries to do non-conventional ways of making really good sauce. And I genuinely support it. I really do mean it. Not just an ad read. This is a real thing. I drink this stuff. I love it. I've drank a little bit too many of these, to be honest with you. But it's made from corn, rye, and barley. And it matures twice as long as most bourbons do on the market today. It's phenomenal, man. They got to sit in those barrels for at least 8 years. It's a robust flavor that really, really does hit you in the back of that throat and warm up your tum-tum. It's distilled, aged, and bottled by Buffalo Trace Distillery themselves, 90 proof in Franklin County, Kentucky. Buffalo Trace is all American, it's family owned, and it's fiercely independent. I highly, highly recommend you picking up a bottle today. Do the thing. Okay, back to the episode. Here, you know what broke my heart the other day? I saw a video on the internet of a mom trying to buy diapers, and she works paycheck to paycheck, and she can't afford to buy in bulk. And so she's like bawling on the internet. She's like, how do you expect me to fucking like get diapers for my kids? So here's the problem is like people with money are hoarding like crazy, and you're like, hey man, ration this the fuck out. Take what take what you need, like not what you want. That scares me because I haven't done the hoarding thing. We went to the grocery store. We did regular grocery store shopping.
Empty. Yeah.
You got to just regular shop.
I know.
That way they have time to stock the fucking shelves.
Exactly.
They're not going to run out. You're going to get all the things you need.
Yeah.
Just let them have time to stock. But if you're panic buying, if you're buying 19 cans of fucking soup, like it's the fucking doomsday preppers are just like, we're good, dude. I did this 80 months ago. I'm good, dude. I just think they're fucking everybody else. Did you buy a bunch of shit?
I didn't buy a bunch of shit. I bought exactly what I need for like a week.
A week or two. Yeah, that's what we did. We did about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Just
I have
about
2 weeks. If depending on how I ration it, I have 2 weeks worth of food, and I know I'm going to be able to get it.
Yeah,
like, I'll be able to get it. It'll keep.
So
coming.
this is a new question. People are trying to support right nearby, I should say, not too far, like a mile down the road. There's one of my favorite restaurants, and they are having a tough time because I talked to the guy. He's like, dude, even fucking carry out is dog shit. Nobody wants to carry out. They're begging people because they can't have people come in anymore. So they're like, please order out. Please order out.
Yeah.
Free delivery.
Oh, that's all I do is fucking Postmates.
I think that's dropped tremendously. I think a lot of people just don't want to even order out because they're nervous. They're like, what the fuck? Who's cooking my food?
Oh, right.
Where's the food? You know, like that. All these. You can go to so many sub levels of panic. By the way, if you see Fight Club, watch Fight Club once. You should have been thinking about where your food comes from fucking 30 years ago. You'd be like, oh my God.
Coming in the clam chowder.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. It's like the levels are, this should have been, we should always
You're
think
not going
like
to
this.
die from a little cum. And I think
Well,
that's
you're
the real,
not because
I
of how
think
much you
that's-
ingest.
I think that's the real message we're trying to get across.
Is that your
in
new
Whiskey
slogan?
Ginger.
You're not going to die
You're
from
not
a
gonna
little
die
cum?
from a little cum.
Whiskey Ginger right here. You're not going to die from a little cum.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right underneath?
Yeah.
No, we're going to be fine.
I hope so.
No, cum's not going to kill you.
No.
No, this virus might kill you.
Yeah.
But I mean, cum won't kill you.
But statistically,
So you've been cooped up at the house? When I texted you, you seemed your response was like you might
dude,
not
I
make
went
it
on
out.
Amazon and just bought a bunch of shit. Dude, I got a Kindle coming on Saturday.
Is it coming though? Amazon says they're overwhelmed.
Yeah,
They
it
can't
may
fill all
not.
these orders.
I know. I got some fucking adult coloring books. So it's going to be great, man.
It's funny to me, okay, the one thing that makes me mad is that people online are like, day 2 being quarantined, cooped up. Most of these people I follow that are my comic friends, these idiots were cooped up all the time anyway.
My God.
That's all they
constantly.
did.
That's all. Yeah.
It's like,
exactly.
what do you mean, paradise? Like Mark Maron? I would love to see Mark Maron be like, I'm in my home. Like, I'm in my perfect sweet spot. Me, coffee, cats, my garage. Like,
Dude,
half the comics I know, this is their fucking dreamscape, is like not doing anything.
It does. I do wonder how it's going to be in a week because I live in a very small studio apartment.
Yeah.
It's very cramped. And I think eventually, sooner rather than later, it's going to be an official lockdown situation. We're all going to be officially quarantined.
You really think so?
I do.
Like how
I
Italy,
know
they can't go in the
they do it
streets?
in Italy and France where, you
Like,
get
you can't drive your car.
$150 ticket if you get pulled over unless you have some sort of documentation.
Here's the thing. If they're going to be out giving tickets, that money should go to a viable place. There's plenty of there's plenty of kids that can't get enough meals, that parents can't feed these kids because they're out of school.
Absolutely.
So I think those tickets, if you want to find people and put that money towards a viable place.
That's not a bad idea.
Especially because the cops, the police, and those that are giving tickets, they're subsidized by the government anyway. So they can have a free reign when you work for the government. The government can subsidize a police force. They can subsidize firefighters and paramedics and all these people that we need. But if you're going to fucking charge people for shit, it should be going to somewhere else.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like every parking ticket should really go to like fixing a fucking bad community.
Yeah, it shouldn't go to more parking tickets.
No, what the fuck?
Exactly.
What an insane.
I know.
That's an insane. I got in an argument with a woman. I was doing a writing job for an Adult Swim show with Derek Beckles. You know Derek?
I don't know.
Fucking awesome. TV Carnage. So he's hysterical. But Derek was doing a show and we were doing like a week-to-week writing job, and I got a ticket and I go back out to my car when it's over and I get the ticket and I see the person writing the tickets.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey man, why?" Like I'm like, what am I, like 10 minutes over the whatever the thing? Like I'm coming, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm doing my job. I respect that, but also like, why did you take this job?"
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine
any other?
Can you
job?
imagine doing that job?
No, you're miserable.
Oh.
That's why I say I respect cops, because at least when people talk shit about cops, they're like, "Fuck cops." It's like, dude, cops still do good. You're gonna need cops when you're fucking when something's
It's
bad.
not all cops.
Wait till you have to call a cop.
Yeah.
1000%. No one's ever been like, "Thank God for parking attendants.
Exactly.
I gotta have them."
Yeah.
You never know. Well, because there was a whole thing going around on the internet about people that were getting tickets in New York for leaving their cars too long on and then I think they
because of
I think De Blasio or whoever. Am I stupid? De Blasio, right? Isn't that?
I think that's him. Yeah.
Yeah, they're wiping it away now. They're trying to say
Right.
like, you won't get ticketed because we can't move your fucking car, because where the fuck are you going?
Exactly.
Finally, but that's the kind of stuff where you're like, it takes government so long to catch up to these things.
I know.
When you're like, why are you
All the
doing,
bureaucracy
why are
and
you
all the
ticketing
bullshit.
people
I know.
for being alive? Anyway,
fucking
I've
ridiculous.
tried to leave the house.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Honestly, can I be very real?
No.
Well, this sounds, people might get upset. I'm gonna go golfing. I haven't gone golfing. I'm
But
gonna go.
that's respecting.
Yeah, we're nowhere near anybody. I'm gonna go by myself.
I went to the beach today.
See, you go by yourself. You get away from.
I was at least
I'm
6
down
feet
for that
away
kind of
from
stuff.
everybody.
I know. I'm lucky enough where now this is a weird break in my tour. I don't want to have this break. I want to be fucking on tour, but I haven't been able to go out and play golf or go hiking by myself.
Yeah.
I want to go do all that shit. I just want to get out by myself, out in the thing. It's so hard. I took my parents bowling when I was in Chicago when my show got canceled, and the bowling alley was like, it like hurt my feelings. It already is like a struggling bowling alley, but it made me even more sad that I was like, this is like everyone's like gonna. I feel like things like that are gonna collapse.
Oh yeah.
They're holding on by
It's
a shoestring.
terrifying.
Yeah.
I put all my money. I was like, I'm going to be smart. And for the first time in my life, I invested all my money in the stock market about 3 weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
You did? Seriously?
Yeah.
What did you invest in?
I just
Well, don't tell anybody, you fucking idiot. You're gonna get sued. They're gonna come after you.
What are
The
you
SEC's
talking
gonna
about?
kill you. No, I'm kidding.
No, I just I lost at least 25%, I think, of everything I put in.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No, but that'll come back.
But I don't know. This one feels different.
Yeah.
Because all these businesses are going out, they're all closing up. I don't know how they're going to be able to.
The government's going to have a bunch of bailouts. They're going to bail out Boeing for like, what was it, a couple billion?
The entire
billions?
population is going to be unemployed for how many months? Who knows?
Yeah.
This could be the next Great Depression. We don't fucking know. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
I don't know, but I feel like recession for sure.
But we're all going to know somebody that's died.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Let's look at it like this though. How many people do you know? Do you know anybody with cancer that's close to? Do you have anybody in your life with cancer or that's had cancer?
Right now, I don't know. Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay,
but
so that's kind of the same
death
thing.
rate
that
for
I mean.
cancer is way higher. It's like 100% almost.
No, but you know
Not
what I
a lot
mean.
of
Like,
people recover
you know,
from cancer.
I have a lot of people that I know with cancer have had cancer. Like that's touched so many people.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a similar, and I'm being ignorant right now.
The death rate for cancer's got to be so much higher than fucking 4%.
No, but in the same regard, where you know someone that has it,
Yeah.
but that's not stopping things from things need to continue.
Yeah.
So at some point,
yeah.
things will continue.
Yeah.
That's the way I gotta look at it. Otherwise, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
Exactly. And that I gotta take a page out of your book.
Well, only because I don't ignorantly think that this is nothing, but I also don't know what you want me to do about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
That's
same-
a good point. There's no point in worrying about it.
Yeah, what can
You
I
just
do?
have to be
It's
responsible.
I feel like this is global warming.
Right.
Dude, I want it to be better. I don't know what you want me to do. I could do literally so much.
You're
on
not the guy. You have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you honestly for the book.
Of course.
I wanna feel
You're
good.
welcome.
I want
you to feel good.
feel
You
good.
deserve to feel good.
So
You are honestly, I've always said you and Theo and Fahim. You guys were my three. And now you guys are fucking blowing up.
Can you believe Theo's blind? All these years we didn't know.
Realize that.
Theo Vaughn is blind.
Wow.
And Fahim he's leaving the country.
What are you talking about?
Back to Mexico, right where Fahim
Oh
Anwar
shit!
belongs.
Is Fahim going back to Mexico?
That's where he belongs.
Oh fuck!
When Trump said build the wall, I said, get Fahim out of
Yeah,
here.
he needs to
All
go.
these brown guys
I've
gotta
had
go.
it.
I'm tired of his stuff.
I know he's gross.
I'm tired of his stuff. Let me ask you a real legitimate question. Do you really believe is comedy gonna bounce back fine? Or is that
From coronavirus?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Well, do you think that this was the bubble?
No,
My fear is when we come back.
What do you think?
Well, dude, when we come back, are people going to be able to afford to go to live shows?
Oh,
So we've been talking. You and I have had this conversation late night in the store a bunch. I've said there's a bubble that's growing in comedy.
Yeah.
It's becoming massive.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
pop.
Oh, I
and
know what
I've
you
said to
mean.
you,
I never saw this as the reason.
No
for it
shit.
In a million
That's
years,
my
that it would be
point.
something like that. The economy.
that's my point. My point was, I said you'll never see the bubble coming.
You know why I think comedy's safe, live comedy in particular is safe, is I think that people are going to spend their money on shit and they're going to need to fucking laugh.
They're going to need something.
Shit. This is depressing.
But after all that time off, my first thought is I'm not going to a comedy club.
Right,
If I'm me, when I
club.
was making $27,000 a year, $25,000 a year, I'm gonna for sure I'm not gonna go spend it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a bottle of booze and I'm gonna drink at the house with a couple of friends.
Well, during the housing crisis
In 08.
in 08, people were fucking still coming out to
They were.
the clubs.
They were, but that being said,
They didn't lose their job for 2 months.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah.
6 months. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I called it with you. I'm not trying to be this guy, but
Well,
I said it a long time ago.
kinda are.
Well, okay. Well, I go, the bubble is gonna pop, and I don't know how, but something has got to. What's happening is like the inflation of comedy is so crazy. Something has to like level this out. I don't know if this is it.
It might be.
All right, let's switch gears because I don't want to get more sad.
No, please.
And the listeners right now are like, what's going on? When was the first time you got drunk?
Oh, probably. I must have been like 12 or 12.
You're looking at me like I was there.
I think I was 12. I was 12.
You were 12 years old.
Yeah, probably 12. How
Name
old were
it.
you? 9.
14.
14. Okay.
The first time I got drunk, first time I tasted a beer, I was probably like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
My uncles at barbecues.
All
I have
right.
100 uncles, and they all let us have beer. And we used to go to this place called Lake Delavan, which is like
Where's that?
in Wisconsin. This is great. There are put that a little bit closer to you, by the way.
Yeah.
There are there's a lake in Wisconsin called Lake Geneva. Lake
Okay.
Geneva is a cool lake to go to. Lake Delavan is like a little tiny. It's like the poor man's Geneva.
All right. How far is that from Chicago?
A couple hours.
Oh,
in
that's it.
Wisconsin. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. No, it's not
okay.
bad. And so we'd go up there, and my grandmother's family had like it's like a half bed, half bath.
Okay.
And 30 of us would go in. I'm not kidding. 30.
Yeah.
My mom's one of 10 kids. So like all the uncles, all the aunts, all the kids. And we go hang out there. And I specifically remember my uncles were playing basketball at like midnight out in the lit courts. And they're like, go get your dad's booze. And I was like, no way my dad will beat the shit out of me because he like hid booze in his travel bag.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were like, go get it. Don't be a bitch. And I was like, I'm not going to be a bitch. I'm going to get it. So I went and got my dad's booze, which I knew I was going to get fucked.
Right.
Like, you're like, I can't upset my uncles because they're the shit.
Mm-hmm.
But dad, like, this is dad's booze. So he had this see-through flask. I can see it today. And I grabbed the see-through flask, and I remember looking at how many lines, the old flask had like kind of like lines on them of how much booze was in it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing the lines, and I remember bringing it to the court, and they were drinking it, and they let me have a pug of it. And I don't even know how young I was, but I remember hating it, but feeling great.
Sure. That's
And
fucking
being like,
relatable.
That was the first moment that I was like, this stuff is great. How many lines can I drink? And of course, then the next day it was all chaos, and my dad was livid, and I blamed it on my uncles. I was like, they made me do it. I was their little errand boy. I wasn't going to let them take the shit, but then they got butt naked and jumped in the lake. And I remember at the time being like, like my little ass tiny little boy penis. They were like, get in, dork. And I was like, I'm not showing my penis. It's not full developed yet. I was so nervous. My little short tiny penis. But in retrospect, really weird uncles jumping in the lake together naked. Like I was like, I'm not the weirdo. You guys were.
Definitely.
Yeah, weirdos.
Yeah.
But that Lake Delavan memory singed into my brain. I was probably, I want to know how young I was. Maybe 9, 10, something like that. Because we were out late. Maybe that was the first time I ever tasted it.
Okay.
But drunk wasn't until I was 15.
Yeah. Wasted. Yeah. That was definitely
14, I was wasted.
16 for me. I
And what'd you do?
Stole a bunch of, just same shit. Just stole a bunch of booze out of the liquor cabinet. Went and drank with some friends, and then I just remember drinking a lot of vodka and then refilling it with water.
Vodka.
Often.
Yeah, that's the go-to for young kids. Flavored vodka.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that became like a fad. Remember that became like a cool.
so bad.
But when we were in high school, flavored vodka became a thing because prior to that it was just vodka, and then at some point they introduced like Smirnoff was like raspberry
Yep.
or
Apple. And,
right. Or what was it? Or Bacardi, the rum company had like Limon.
cherry.
Or
Yeah.
they made.
Bacardi Limon.
And I'll never forget,
cherry.
chicks loved Bacardi Limon.
Oh,
For
do
some
they?
reason, they did. When I was in high school, all our girlfriends. So I had a big puffy winter Chicago jacket, and we used to go to this gas station liquor store up the street from my high school, and I would put it in the sleeves of my jacket because you couldn't tell. We'd have somebody distracting, like a good-looking girl, and I would put him in the sleeves of my jacket.
Really?
And when our oldest friend, this kid, Kevin, I don't want to say, Kevin looked like he was 8. He looks like he was 40 when we were 16. He would try to buy booze, and they'd give him hassle. I don't have my ID on me.
Right.
Because you can't get in trouble.
We all had that one friend who looked fucking 40.
Oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Thank God for them.
Yeah, God bless.
Yeah.
But he always would like try to buy booze. But if you didn't have an ID, the cops couldn't really bust you because it's like you weren't trying to buy booze illegally. You weren't using fake ID. You were just being like, "Can I buy this?" No, you're not 21. It's like, "Oh, but I don't have my
That's a
ID."
good point.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was smooth. But he would try to buy booze, and I'd put it in my sleeves of my jacket, and we'd sneak out. I had 4 bottles of Bacardi Limon in my jacket. We'd show up like kings to parties. That's what a loser. You're a loser. Do you remember the first time? Did you throw up the first time you got fucked up?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Puked?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I didn't drink vodka again for a while. First time I puked.
You had to clean it out for a little while?
Yeah, and I mean every time, we've all been there when you have like one really fucked up night on one particular booze.
Is there a liquor you can't have anymore?
Like
you're sober now.
Goldschlager.
Goldschlager is the one you can never have again.
Can't do it.
Why? You got so fucked up on Goldschlager.
So much Goldschlager one night. Well, I can't have any of them now.
You can.
Unfortunately.
You can, but you're no, you're clean. I mean, I'm putting it right in front of you. It's so rude.
I
But-
know this is gonna be tough.
It starts sneaking
What
towards you
is
as a
this,
show.
by the way? Buffalo.
Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff. Good sauce. I like it.
I love it. Yeah, bourbon's great.
I
man.
like Kentucky bourbon. I like American bourbon. I saw an ad today for Irish single cask malt Irish whiskey. They wanted $500 for the
Get
bottle.
fucked.
Get fucked.
That's
that was
one,
the slogan.
That's what I don't do. I don't do Irish whiskey.
Why?
But I've never been able to do Irish whiskey. It's never agreed with me.
Couldn't agree more.
Well,
it's not- it's definitely not my favorite.
I
Yeah.
can't fucking stand it. It's the one that makes me just.
Do you like Scotch?
I love Scotch. Oh my god! At the Comedy Store, that's all I would drink for years. Was Glenlivet.
But you always buried it well. When you were drinking at the store, I never really knew. You buried it very well.
Yeah, I was a big drunk.
You're a proper alcoholic.
Yeah, I was a proper alcoholic.
But
I
in a
come
way
from
that
long
wasn't.
line
But
of
you were
proper
never
alcoholics.
threatening. You were never.
No.
That's the thing. Is like people have Jekyll and Hyde syndrome sometimes, and I have friends. You never had that.
No,
I never
never.
saw you upset in that way.
Never.
I never saw you angry in that way. I never saw you.
Yeah, I never really had that problem.
Who in your family was drunks?
Oh, my father, my grandfather, my grandmother. Yeah,
Did
my
any
whole
of them get
dad's
sober
side.
or no?
My dad did. He went to Betty Ford. Yeah,
Famous.
famous Betty Ford.
Cured him?
Yeah, he never drank again, but he got into pills.
Those are way more fun.
I know.
Easy to do. Pop
Your
it in.
dad
you're
was
done.
into Coke, right?
Coke.
Yeah. That's
Coke-
why I had to stop drinking.
Coke, but I also think everything.
Sure.
Coke, I think, was the catalyst for my dad's party. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think it was just like that was the beginning of who knows what we get
The
into.
night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which if you hung out with anybody who's done cocaine, it makes sense.
Myself.
Coke is kind of like we'll get to Z, but I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna do a
B, C,
lot
D,
of
F, E.
A.
Yeah, you're gonna do yeah. You're gonna do all sorts of shit together. I think that was his. I remember when he'd been sober for a long time, and I was 23 maybe, and he was like, let's go out. We can hang out somewhere, and we went out. I was 22. I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
and we was at a bar by the house, and I was playing pool, and he was like, "Oh, you want a beer?" I was like, "Yeah," but I felt weird about it. That was the first time I felt weird. He bought me a Miller
At
Lite.
22 or 3.
Yeah, I felt weird because I was like, I didn't want to drink in front of him.
Right.
And it was this really existential crisis that I was like, should I not? And he was very adamant. That I learned later in my life about addicts that they're like,
Didn't
no,
wanna
don't
do
change
it.
your life just because I've changed my life. That would be more fucked up for me. So I had a couple of beers, but I remember the whole time feeling guilty or weird about the whole
Sure,
thing.
that's
And I was like,
normal.
why am I having a fucking beer in front of me? But yeah, no, that wasn't the issue.
Yeah.
There's a million other issues,
That's relatable. Yeah.
That led
That's
to the
why I
thing.
had to stop drinking. Yeah.
I mean, and it runs deep in my family, which is like, Rogan always makes fun of me. He's like, oh, you fucking drunk. I was like, I can go a long time without drinking. Just I enjoy it.
Yeah, sure.
But it doesn't cripple me in a way where I'm like, oh, if I don't have one, I'm fucked. Like I talked to Schwartzy on the podcast here. He came on, and Nick
I love him.
Nick
What a
is-
bummer.
is happy that he's cleaned out of that shit.
Yeah, thank God.
But the difference also was, this is what's crippling and unfortunate about booze. He was never a bad dude on booze.
Never. Oh my God, he was so fun.
That's
the
what
last
sucks,
time
you know?
before this one, when I went on the wagon for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Before this last
I've been
slip
through
up.
all this stuff. by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
there. I've
yeah.
been there. I'm seating in the wings. Yeah, go ahead.
The last time I drank to send me on that wagon tour was Swartzen in Montreal, and just drinking in the airport.
Yep.
Drinking in the airport, drinking on the airplane,
On the plane, drinking as soon
in the
as you
airport
land,
on the way
at the
back,
Hyatt, yeah.
and then right to Barney's, and then all night at Barney's, and then the next day. Yeah, I was like, all right, well, I'm taking a year and a half off.
Well, he can go, but
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate thing. It doesn't choose, like when you're like, oh, this is my rock bottom. The unfortunate thing is some people, they're just like still fun dudes,
Yeah,
and there is no like,
I know.
I fucked a dude and I
Yeah.
choked out a midget and I
Yeah.
fucking lit a house on fire. It's like sometimes they're like, no, I'm good at drinking. That's been my balance of like, if I can teach myself how to just control it in terms of, because if it was up to me, I could responsibly drink when I know I can all the time,
Right.
but I know it's just not healthy.
Yeah.
That's
Of
all it
course.
is.
if I knew that it wouldn't always inevitably lead to cocaine, I would still be drinking today.
You love cocaine.
When I drink, yeah,
me,
it's
look at me.
always a good idea.
You
You
love cocaine.
I can't help it.
How much cocaine could you do in one night?
I mean, in my oh god, a lot. You know,
What's a lot? I don't know. I don't do cocaine.
Definitely. I've had instances where I've done well more than an 8-ball
By yourself?
Yeah. But that's the really dangerous part is if you take a lot of time off, you can't do what you once did.
But when you were doing that much,
but that's when I was doing a lot.
Were you drinking that much too?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then I'd fucking drive myself to urgent care or take an Uber to urgent care in the later years.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, why would you go to urgent care?
So many times because I thought I was having a heart attack. One time I was actually having a heart attack at Cedars-Sinai. They said you had a minor heart attack.
Wait, so
I was
give me an example of the time you went to Cedars. Tell me. Tell me.
I drove to Cedars and I thought for sure I was having a heart attack.
Yep.
And I got there and they hooked me up to an EKG and the guy told me you had a minor heart attack and I came clean. I told him I did some cocaine.
This is why Jewish people shouldn't do coke.
Oh yeah.
Like I've had a heart attack. I'm panicking.
Exactly.
I'm losing it.
Oh my god, it's the worst.
Wait,
I have
the other
horrible
times
anxiety.
You went to urgent care. How many times have you gone to urgent care on
At
coke?
least 8 or 9.
You've done 8 or 9 times at the urgent care because of coke? And what do they say? They send you to fuck off. They fuck you off. They're like, get out of here, you dummy.
No, I mean, usually I've only been honest about why. I just said I think I'm having a panic attack. And they'll give me something to help me calm down or whatever.
No offense to anybody. But this is why I think we might beat this corona thing. I'm just saying. It might take us. I might be dead from it in a month, and I'm sorry I'm saying it now, but like, fuck me. The amount of times that I've had too much sauce in my body and ended up in a place. Dude, I woke up in a park bench in Tempe at a bus stop with throw up all over the place. And I woke up and I was like, what happened? But I lived. I was like, I think I might beat this corona thing. I had so many of those bad nights when I was in college. I partied way too hard in college. Did you ever check your pulse by yourself in a room somewhere? Have you ever had that?
I every time
where
I
you
did
sit down in a room for like an hour and you're like,
oh yeah,
fuck,
I do that where I'm like,
done that.
Slow breathing,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh god.
I've done that when I'm too
water
fucked
in your
up.
face.
Yeah, I do that. I used to do that all the time when I was too drunk and too high. If I was too drunk and too high, I would sit down somewhere. I'll never forget. I was in this apartment complex with my buddy. I won't name names, dude.
You've named all the names.
Yeah, but I can't this way.
Okay.
He was fucking yacked out of his fucking mind, and he was like, he used to play guitar. He used to play a fucking acoustic guitar. People would come over, and he'd be like, you want to hear Dave Matthews? And he would fucking,
absolutely not,
dude. And he would just strum it and bleed. He would bleed all over the guitar. I'm not kidding. And I remember I ripped this bong with these 2 other dudes. It's like one of those gravity bongs. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
I ripped a gravity bong after we'd already been toasted out of our head on sauce. And I sat in the second room in one of their free rooms in the apartment, and I had a panic attack for like 20 minutes. I was like, I'm going to die, but I don't want to die in front of my buds.
Right.
I was like, I want to die in this room. So I just freaked out the whole fucking time. And that was one of those moments where you're checking your pulse. And yeah, the guitar guy. It's like, you want to hear All Along the Watchtower, but Dave Matthews version? And coked up girls were like, yeah, do it, play it. They were fucking out of their head, and he would bleed. He'd strum so hard, he would bleed out of his fingers. Those were the days. ASU, baby. The best school in the country. Could you beat it? So answer me one question.
Yeah.
What do you really see as the future for you in the business of comedy?
Oh, I have no fucking idea.
No,
man.
but give me
I
some
don't
semblance
know.
of an idea.
I don't know, man.
What's a dream gig then? Say it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna maybe I'd like to produce. Maybe just I don't know, man.
You're not smart enough, dude. You're a stupid.
I am,
No,
but
you're
I
a
don't
smart
know
boy.
what else the fuck to do, man.
No, you will make content in comedy. You are very, very good at it.
I think so. I think I'd be a good producer. I think so.
That to me, if you had a, what's the white whale? What's the big land? Like, what would be the thing where you go, what would be really cool to do? That produce film or produce television? Or?
Yeah, film.
Yeah,
film.
That's
I love
because,
film.
But it's because you're a Hollywood kid.
Yeah, I am.
It's weird to grow up here and love.
It
all
is
that shit.
bizarre a little bit.
You have
it's
Hollywood in
strange
your blood
in my
too.
veins and in my blood.
Who's your Hollywood blood? Say it.
My Hollywood blood?
Yeah, who's in your family is in Hollywood?
Nobody.
No one in Hollywood. No one.
Nobody.
But it's just embedded in you.
It is.
You're born and raised in this bullshit.
I was born and raised in this horse shit, and it's just what I've always loved. I've always loved movies and television.
Who would be the one director you'd want to work with?
David Lynch. It's my guy. I love David Lynch, but I think he's done.
After
he might have one more.
After the remake of
Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks,
I loved it.
You love the remake too?
Fucking loved it.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I loved it. I love him and Kubrick and
you're not gonna make anything
I
with
don't
Kubrick.
think I'm gonna be working with Kubrick.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Who's your guys? Or girls? Could be a girl.
No,
But it's not. No.
What would be it's over, but I would want
it's over.
No, I mean in this regard, I would be a homeless background walk by for Scorsese for sure.
Fuck yeah.
I would be I would be a guy who like tops off the gas in the background of a scene for Scorsese. I would do anything for that guy. Yeah. Well, like 100%.
Yeah.
That would have been the guy for me moving forward. I don't know. There's a million young talented, but I mean, if you're talking about the history of what I loved about movies, yeah, I mean, that would have been, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that or like, I wish I was in a Penny Marshall film because that's my childhood.
Okay.
I wish I was in a John Hughes film because that was my childhood.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Those are all things that I can't get back.
Right.
Well, they're all dead. You know, like not all of them, but a lot of the people that I loved when I was a kid, they're gone
No,
or they're not making movies anymore.
I know.
So for new filmmakers, I mean, fuck, there's a million of them. I don't know, like Jordan Peele, I think is a G, and comes from our world. So like,
yeah, I don't get it.
You don't like Jordan?
No, I everyone was losing their fucking shit over
Get Out.
Get Out. And I
Well,
thought it was
do you think it has
alright.
anything to do with you not liking black people, or is that what it is?
No, I don't think that's it
Because
entirely.
you do hate black people.
No, I don't like. I do, but in fairness, I
No.
love the Twilight Zone, but I don't like horror. I don't
Right.
really like that.
I guess what I mean is, I think I'm proud of a guy who comes from our world.
I love Key and Peele. I thought
So
that was hilarious.
that's why I love him so much. Like, there's a million great directors, but I think Jordan is dope because it's pretty rare, dude, to make that shift. You know, like
right.
only a few guys have even tried.
No, you're absolutely
Bobcat,
right.
Bobcat is a director now who's a great director, and Bobcat Goldthwait, if you don't know who that is, is a phenomenal comedian.
The favorite comedy of all time.
Phenomenal.
Windy City Heat.
There's so many guys that don't make that transition. That's a hard. So I guess that's what it is. For me, it's like it'd be cool to fuck with somebody who came from where we come from, comedy wise. You know, he's not a stand-up, but it's our world. So I don't know, man. I don't know who my like and I'm not even being political. I really don't know who I would go. Oh, Tarantino would be fun, but like isn't he done? He's done, right?
And he's got one left.
Yeah, and I ain't getting
Those
in that.
Safdie brothers, they're fucking the shit. I loved Uncut Gems. You didn't like it?
No. It's not that I didn't like it. It's like, you would like that because you're one of them.
I'm one of what? I'm a kike. I'm a dirty
What did you say?
hook-nosed kike.
What did you say? Don't say that. That's not funny or cool at all.
Sandler, he did that. Dude,
Look what happens when you pull out money with these guys. They lose their mind.
I fucking drooled a little.
No, they're good too. No, they're dope too. I don't think that's like when you go like, who would be the thing? I don't know, man. Like what
do you have left to do? Dude, by the way, go watch Dave. It's fucking great.
Go watch it. Wednesday nights on FXX and on Hulu on Thursdays.
I watched the first 3 episodes.
Did you?
What is it? Dave, it's on FXX, right?
FXX and on Hulu on Thursdays.
I watched the first 3 episodes. It was fucking hilarious.
It's fun.
Great
it's a fun
job.
Show. 4 episodes.
It's great.
Say you watched 4.
But I didn't. I watched 3.
Just say it because it's so
I watched 4 episodes.
There it is.
Of Dave.
4th episode came out on Wednesday.
Oh fuck! Holy shit! I'm all
came
caught
out
up.
today.
Did it really?
Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Okay,
Yeah.
well there you go.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm doing that, and then I hope to God I can get back to touring. I
You
hope to
will.
God.
Come on, man.
Okay, man. Well, you know what? I cannot.
Oh wait,
to
you
call
called the last one.
Hmm.
I don't want. I hope you didn't call this one because you called the bubble. Yeah, I don't know, man.
We'll see. Let's do this thing. All comics comics come on here and they plug dates. Can you plug some pretend dates into the camera real fast?
Yeah, I'm going to
Plug some fake
be.
Wait, hold on. Let me set it up properly. Where are you gonna be? Where are you gonna be performing? What's going on?
I'm going to be at Fucknuts this weekend.
Oh, dude, Fucknuts is so
Wichita.
good.
Yeah,
Wichita,
yeah,
that's one of my favorite clubs.
Dude, it's the
You doing
best.
4 shows? 2 shows?
4 shows at Fucknuts in Wichita.
Love it.
And then I'm doing Chuckle Butts in when is that? Sheboygan.
Well, and Sheboygan is open. The one in Schaumburg closed down.
What? What?
I know. Don't you?
Corona?
No. Me too.
It's Corona time.
It's Corona time. Corona. No, man. The one in Schaumburg closed down.
Get out. Why? Wait, because of those brothers didn't show up? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Our two favorite brothers. Our two favorite comedy brothers.
We're never going to remember.
Adam and I will never be able to remember, but we had two twin comedy brothers. By the way, I shouldn't say this, but this is the greatest joke. There's a comedy duo called the Sklar Brothers. Are at the store all the time. Great dudes. Dave Attell had the funny, and they say this. The Sklar Brothers always quote this. The greatest and most hurtful intro that Dave Attell has ever given to the Sklar Brothers. He goes, "Give it up for the Sklar Brothers. I didn't know boring came in monotone." In stereo. Oh, I fucked up the joke. In stereo.
Dude, Attell called me yesterday.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Top 5 all time.
Yeah.
Attell.
I didn't know it came in stereo. Yeah. The comedy right now needs to come back because of what's going on. There's so many good comics right now.
Yeah. I hope at the very least this whole thing puts things into perspective and people stop fucking worrying about words.
Well, how about this? I think after this thing happens, people won't. That's the beauty. I think people will be like, just give me comedy. Let's just have a good time.
Yeah.
I think the restrictions will be a little bit less.
I think so.
But I think people are going to be, instead of the yonder bags with the cell phones, you're going to have people. You're going to hand out masks.
Well, after this, I'm going to go take a long look at that death rate because I don't buy what you're fucking saying.
Oh, dude, I put it up on the internet. It's on the internet. It's not me. I didn't do it. You're not going to die. And if you do,
why'd you say it like
well,
that,
because I felt weird because maybe you do die. Speaking of which, let's shift it real quick before we're done.
Yeah.
So the other day, I was looking on Twitter.
Yeah.
Bored, sifting through all the shit.
Sure.
And I went back to some of Brody Stevens' old tweets.
Oh.
And if you don't know Brody Stevens, he's a great comic. He unfortunately passed away. And I got the call from you.
Right.
Yes, you.
I had to call.
You called me.
I had to call everybody.
And that was a bogus call. But I think in lieu of... fucking
dude, he would have been losing his fucking mind right now. Can you imagine?
Me tipping over the mic and it'd be like, Santino.
No, I'm talking about the corona.
I know the corona shit. No, but in lieu of all that stuff, somebody said, man, this is a perfect time for stay-at-home online comedians. And I was like, Brody would have
flourished.
Murdered.
He would have killed.
Brody would have been the guy that wrote 50 of the best jokes of the day.
Absolutely.
He would have trended so hard on fucking Twitter.
He was a guy who would come through Tempe when I first got there a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who would he open for?
No, he would just come for like bullshit mics.
Oh, right. But he never got a chance at
I don't think he did.
Did you see any young guys that were opening for somebody that later popped?
Jesselnick came and opened for Brian Posehn.
Oh, what a weird pair.
Yeah, Bill Burr, he was like MC. He was like, it was like that, it wasn't. It was the Charlie Murphy tour. I remember he would go up first and nobody knew who the fuck Bill Burr was. And I was like, this guy's fucking unbelievable.
Was he well received or no?
He always did well, but I remember seeing him and I was like,
the crowd is
he's going to be huge. He's already unbelievable.
Yeah, dude.
And then, Donnell killed. And then Charlie, God
Charlie's
rest his
dead,
soul.
Dude.
Yeah,
okay, so be careful.
Yeah. R.I.P.
No, but that so Bird, that's some good name, Jesselnick.
Yeah, I remember that specifically.
I never got to open it for anybody.
I remember like B.J. Novak opening up for like Bob Saget or something.
Right, there was a slew of guys that opened for Bob.
Yeah,
like there was a bunch of different young comics that got to open up for Bob.
That's a good point.
That finally like kind of cracked from that.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Paulie. Paulie would bring up so many guys. I mean, Paulie. A lot of guys that we know opened for Paulie over the years.
Yeah.
And they became.
Did they? Who? Oh, Renazizi.
Didn't Bobby open for Paulie?
Oh yeah, Bobby for sure.
What do you mean?
Ingram.
Yeah. There's some fucking hitters in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watch your tone.
No, that's a good point.
Watch your fucking tone, bitch. No, just the comedy circuit has a weird way of, and let me tell one quick story because it just came into my head because of the booze. There's a comedian named Billy Gardell. Billy played Mike from Mike and Molly with. Why can't I think of her name? Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yeah, Melissa.
And I will say the coolest thing he ever did, I walked in his green room the first time I ever featured, because I never got to feature anybody on the road. That's what I was trying to say to you before, was nobody took me on the road. Back then, it was just a different was hard to get in. It was hard to get on the road with somebody.
It's tough.
You know?
Rogan's great with that. Bobby
Well, now
was actually really
days
good with
now
that.
have changed.
Yeah.
But
Bobby
back-
was always good about that.
Well, now I'm a headliner and I fucking open for Rogan now. Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
It's like
that's
I'll
great.
open for him now because I
Fuck
love
yeah.
it. But back then I never got a chance. When I was a real feature, I never got to feature. And nobody linked up with me. And Billy Gardell, well, it was fine. I was better than most of the headliners. And we'll be right back after this.
You really were.
No,
though.
but it was just Billy Gardell let me open for him. They were like, oh, there's a guy from
That's cool.
from LA. So he let me open for him. And I got to tell you, the coolest thing he ever did, I went inside the green room and Jimmy Schubert was in there. I didn't know Jimmy Schubert at all. And Billy had like 5 or 6 people that like came into the green room to hang out. And I immediately got up and started to walk out because I got nervous. I was like, oh, dude, I got to get the fuck out of here. I have no business being in here.
Right.
It's his room. I was quietly sitting in the corner by myself. And then when they came in, I fucked off because that used to be the rules, man.
Yeah.
Play by the rules.
Exactly.
Billy like grabbed me by the shoulder or like, he grabbed me by the neck. I remember he grabbed me by the neck and he's like, where are you going? And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go fuck off and get a drink or eat some food or something and whatever. He's like, why? I was like, oh, get out of here. You guys have the room. And he was like, no, sit down. And one of his buddies had taken the seat that I had got up from. And he was like, are you getting up because these guys are here? And I was like, yeah, I can get out of here. I was being, very cordial.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, that's insane. And he points to his buddy, he goes, get the fuck up. He was sitting there. And he goes, you don't leave just because these guys are here. You're a comedian. This is our room. You're
That
here.
is so fucking cool.
Yeah, Billy Gardell. I will say that one of the coolest fucking, and it was just, he could tell that I was, trying to be like, oh, I should get out. I'm the feature. I shouldn't be in this room. That was the old rules. Now, the fucking feature will do an extra 40 minutes.
What a
like,
fucking great
what did I do?
Yeah, exactly. I love hearing stories like that.
Billy Gardell is such a fucking
He's
cool
a good dude.
He's such a cool dude and did that. And he was so genuine about it that he was like, no. And his buddy was like, what? He was getting up. And he's like, no, get the fuck. He's like, he was sitting there. He just did the thing that I wish it happened more today.
Yep.
Like hey man, we're all a part of this game. There's a thing, it's a respect thing. But anyway, I will never forget that. Of all the people I've worked with that are way, way above me, that's one of those moments where I was like, that dude's a good dude.
Yep.
He's
love
he gets
hearing
it.
that. Love seeing
Yeah,
it.
he
In
needs an
Tempe,
ace.
the
He's an
greatest dudes that came through there. It was Schimmel for sure, Colin Quinn, David Tell,
Colin Quinn,
and
fuck me.
Spade. Spade's great to everybody.
Who?
Spade.
Who is Spade?
Yeah, he's good.
David.
David.
I love him. By the way, I've done a few episodes. I'm going to keep doing more. Go watch David Spade's show on Comedy Central.
Please
Adam is
watch it.
one of the. You're a producer on that show. Booker.
Yeah, Booker.
Well, that's a producer, isn't it?
Just a Booker.
Watch the show on Comedy
Yeah,
Central.
watch it.
It's a
Go
great
watch
show.
it.
No, genuinely, I do think it's fucking phenomenal.
It's good.
There is some great comics that they put on that. They feature a lot of people. They do it differently than most shows of that ilk. Go see Adam at the Chuckle Fuck Hut.
Fuck Nuts.
The Fuck Nuts. And go see him at Farty's Magooby.
Chuckle Butts.
Farty Magooby.
Farty Magooby.
Farty Magooby is in Pacoima. Was out here. So go see the guy. Go to his website, imajewcuck.com, and check him out. All right, here's how we end the episode. You have to look in the camera,
All right.
and you have to say a word or a phrase to end the episode. And you have to wait till I get off. You say one word or one phrase. You can think about it right now while I sip this whiskey. But you're ending the episode. A word or a phrase from Adam Eget. And this is embedded on the internet forever. So think for a second. Don't say,
Okay.
a word or a phrase.
Okay.
I'm walking away. Go ahead.
Death rate.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.